you doing, everybody? Sit, sit, sit. How you doing? I appreciate you guys sticking around to listen. I told Lee, I'd love to come down there, but I can't make it till the last day. And normally everybody wants to go back, get home, barbecue, shit like that. So I appreciate everybody sticking around. You guys probably all just live here, yeah? So every time I walk out on a stage, anywhere I go, I think to myself, if I were in their shoes, what is it that I would need to know or want to know to, blow up my game? And I don't know if anyone's told you guys this, but it only takes two things: dick and balls. So as long as you guys got that, you're good. But if you don't have them, I'm going to talk to you a little bit because I found other ways to succeed. I got to tell you, the truth of the matter is there are a million ways to succeed. Don't let anybody tell you that there's only one way to do it, because that's not true. People say you have to grind your face off, work hard. I didn't. So I think there's literally a million ways to succeed. You don't have to do what everybody else does. Now, I like to think in my mind, okay, if I were in this business, and again, the roofing business, I'm getting in it only because I don't know if you guys know this yet, but every single person in this room has the ability easily to walk away in the next 5 years with at least 20 million. If you don't walk away in 5 years with 20 million, you're going to be real close to it, or you're not paying attention, or you don't believe it's possible. That's the only three reasons you're not going to be able to do it. But you actually can, and this isn't hype. This isn't me trying to get you pumped up. I don't pump people up. I come out and I tell the truth. Some people call it dropping bombs, but I just tell the truth because if somebody, told me the truth a long time ago, I probably wouldn't have had to wait so long to become successful. Because I tell you, I had to learn the hard way. I even wrote a book. Anybody read that book, by the way? The Hard Way? Thank you. Thank the one person. Give it up for that guy. No, I wrote a book. It's called The Hard Way. It's lessons I learned the hard way so you don't have to. And really what it's all about is just stories that I had to learn the hard way. And ultimately, the craziest part about the book is you all are going to learn it, or you already have, one of the two. You're going to learn it one way or the other. The question is how much is it going to cost you? That's the only question. How much is it going to cost you to learn? So I would read the book. So I started out, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Brad Lee. I'm an entrepreneur literally by the definition of the word, which means that I take larger than normal financial risks, especially in business. So I would say all of you guys are entrepreneurs. And I don't care what industry you're in, normally it's going to be sales and marketing that's going to make a difference. And then the other one's going to be team building, culture. So if I were looking out here and I'm thinking, what would I tell these people out here? Well, if you're new, I would tell you 100% to master door knocking. Go knock on some freaking doors, people. Have some dick and balls. Like, a lot of people are so worried about the door for some reason. Oh, well, what if they're at dinner? And oh, I'm scared. Oh, what if they reject me? Oh, I feel stupid. Well, that's the problem with most society. It's called allodoxophobia. Anyone ever hear of it? Look it up. People always think I'm making it up because I'm known to joke a little bit, but it's a real word, allodoxophobia. It's the fear of other people's opinion. You're worried about knocking on that door because you're worried about what might happen, or you're worried about your lack of skills. You don't want to look stupid, feel stupid, get rejected, etc. And that's what's stopping you. So again, if I were new in this business or any business, I would master door knocking. Write that down if you're new. Don't worry about all this other crap. Master door knocking, which is sales. And then if you're, a little bit more matured in this business, you have a company, a team, etc. The next one I would master is team building. Period. Like, guys, recruiting to me, just again, most things to me are common sense. I don't know if I'm real smart or everybody else is, missing the point, but the point that I see with you guys is like, man, what if you had, like, if someone raises their hand, I say, how much money you make? They say X. How many salesmen you got? They'll say X. My next question is always, why only that many? And they never have an answer other than, oh, you can't find good people. No, you make good people. Don't you guys understand the difference? You don't find kick-ass salespeople. Kick-ass salespeople, they're not looking for a job. They've got one. So sometimes we have to start with new people and make them kick-ass. How do we do this? Training. Now, a lot of you guys think, well, we train our people, but in reality, you probably don't. What you're doing is exposing your people. Okay, real training takes good content, the right way to do it in the first place, practice, repetition, and accountability. So if you don't have those four things, you're not training your people, you're exposing your people. And I don't know about Florida, but in Nevada, exposure will get you arrested. Not here. But in reality, are you really training your people? And training, folks, makes them a big difference. And I'm not saying whatever most people's training programs are, because I go around the world. I started a training software. That's how I got successful. I'll go back to the beginning of the story. At the beginning of the story, everyone told me to get a real job. So I literally went out and found a real job fighting forest fires, or at least I thought. And so they hired me at the Forest Service. So I go out to the Forest Service. I'm running around bragging to all my friends, talking about I'm going to be freaking, fighting fires. I pictured myself with a flannel shirt and shit and soot on my face with an axe over my shoulder and a fucking wolf by my side, saving eagle eggs and shit. I get up there, they hand me this big old heavy bag of water called a piss bag and tell me to go squirt on stumps that are smoldering. I'm like, oh, shh. So I go up and down these mountains getting poked in the eye, dust in the air, ashes in the air. It was miserable. And so I get a little patch of poison oak. Anybody have poison oak? It's itchy. I get a little patch of poison oak right here. I go into the dude and I said, hey, listen, I'm not going to be able to make it in for a little while. I got poison oak. And I showed him my arm. He rips open his shirt and his whole body is covered in poison oak. And he said, dude, that's just part of the job. And I said, what? You want me to get scabbed over? Yeah, that's just part of the job. Now get out there, because there's a lot of people that want this job if you don't want it. And I said, thankfully, you can have it. So I quit instantly. I ain't doing that shit, okay? So next day I open up the newspaper, saw an ad for selling cars. So I say, hey, I'll try this. I go in there. They want me to wear a suit, cologne, and a pen. And the first day they say, go pick out a car. I'm like, what are you talking about? They said, well, we give you a car to drive. It's called a demo. I'm like, you're giving me a car to drive? They're like, yeah, just go pick out a car. And there's a car lot with all these brand new cars. It happened to be Williams Wilson Pontiac Volkswagen. So we had a whole row of Trans Ams with T-tops. And I'm like, including those? They said, absolutely, any car you want. So I beelined it for a black Trans Am, like I was freaking Knight Rider. Got that some bitch. He goes, you wanted the windows tinted? I'm like, are you fucking with me? They're like, no. You can get a 6-pack CD changer put in the back if you'd like. I'm like, yeah, I'd like. I'm thinking to myself, holy smokes. Everyone's making fun of sales. Everybody's laughing at sales, making fun of your sales. You don't want to be in sales. I hate sales. I'm not a salesperson. Ooh, you're a salesperson? And I'm thinking, hard work wants me to have scabs, and sales wants me to have Trans Ams. It wasn't a hard decision to make. And I'm like, okay, I'll try this. So I got really good at it. Then I started running the team. Then I started running the department. Then I started running the dealership. And then at one point, there was a kid in the back who was a really cool dude. He had a really nice family, cute little kids, but they'd come in and they'd always be shy and timid. And the wife would always kind of look like this for some. I thought he might even been beating her, but he was just too nice of a guy. But this girl just kept going like this every time she was around people. And I couldn't figure out why this was the case. Well, I started getting to know him a little bit better, and it was because he was making minimum wage. He had more kids even than I met, and he didn't have any money. And so I said, well, let me fix that for you. Let me bring you out front, show you how to sell some cars. Now, keep in mind, I could take people out of Burger King windows and train them. I was literally pulling people from all over, turning them into badass salespeople. And so I'm like, hey, let me help you. So I bring him out front, show him how to make money. He went from minimum wage to making about $15,000 a month in about 2 months. And literally, I watched his family come in after that. Wife was smiling. She had a, nice purse. new clothes. Kids were happy. They were running in new shoes. They weren't being made fun of anymore at school. I'm getting this from, in retrospect, but apparently that money changed their life. And a lot of people will tell you money is not a good thing. Money is evil. Money's this and that. You know what I say? Dick and balls. That's nonsense, folks. I watched money change this kid's life, and I thought, I want to do that for more people. I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to start a training company. So I started a training company called Lightspeed VT. And so I went out on the road thinking to myself, I'm going to go out and I'm going to train people to do this. So I went out on the road and I started training people, and guess what? It didn't work. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. And that's when I discovered the 4 ingredients. When I was working at the company, I was giving good content with repetition, practice, and accountability. But when I went out on the road, I was just giving good content. And I couldn't get it to stick. So ask yourselves, are you training your people or are you exposing your people? Because recruiting's one thing. Do you think it would be smart to recruit a bunch of people and then build a training system? Or would it be a little bit wiser to create a training system and then recruit a bunch of people? So a lot of people leave here and they're like, yep, I heard him. I got to go recruit a bunch of people. And then what you get is chaos. Have you ever tried to scale chaos? You don't want to scale chaos. I've done it. You want to build a training system, which is very easy to do. By the way, lightspeedvt.com. We make it easy. It's a software that actually does this. So that's what I did. I developed this realization that these 4 things are needed. And then I realized I didn't want to live on the road. I didn't want to live out of a suitcase. So I said, I've got to figure out a way to do this, but not in person. So I created this. I found people to do it. I wasn't a developer. But I found people and I developed this interactive training system that would allow me to deliver good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. And then it started working. So I put my content in there, it started working, it started working, it started working. And then the next thing you know, I'm running into competition. Now, people used to say, Brad, crush them, crush your competition. But in reality, I believe that I pivoted and I started to collaborate with my competition, which is what literally made me successful. I didn't try to compete, I tried to collaborate. Because I was running into people. Anybody here Grant Cardone? Yeah, so I'm running into him. Back when I met him, he was just a car salesman. I do that because he's short, not because he was training car salesmen. Hey, that's all he did. And, he was buying real estate on the side, but I told him, I said, hey, listen, we got to train, I got a training system. He's like, I don't really get it. I thought he was playing stupid just to get a better deal. Turns out he wasn't playing. But I will tell you that I finally got him closed, and the rest is history. He started selling it to car dealerships, and next thing you know, boom, 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 it started blowing up. But you know what really blew up Grant Cardone? It wasn't his training system, even though I'd like to claim it. You know what it was? Social media. Social media, and every single one of you guys could end up using social media to grow your business by massive amounts. So what I did is I started closing all these people, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Tom Hopkins, John Maxwell, like you name them, and I went and closed them. I was the guy that closed the guy that teach you to close. I went and closed the people that were teaching everybody, and I said, listen, this is the way it's got to be done. This is what's going to happen in the future. So you want to use my training system and give me what I call a piece from my niece, a little slice, because I'm nice. Little tad for Brad. We can keep going. A little fraction of the action, little sliver to deliver. Whatever it was, like just give me a little piece and I'll create you this beautiful training system and send you out in the world and show you how to sell and close all these different companies. Because I knew where they were, because when I was trying to sell them my training, they said, shit, well, we use so-and-so. And I'm like, well, what if I had so-and-so? They'd go, well, then we'd buy it. It's awesome, but it's just the wrong training. And I'm like, okay, so let me go get so-and-so. See, again, it wasn't rocket science. I just listened to what the customers were saying and said, okay, well, let me go get what they're asking for. See, if you guys want to sell something, make it easy. Don't make it difficult. And selling roofs is pretty damn easy, wouldn't you say? Like, they're pretty much free, aren't they? They are. You guys are laughing, but it's true. So if you can't sell roofs, dude, you suck. You need training. You can give the shit away. Hey, dude, I was walking by. I noticed some damage on your roof. You want me to get on up there? Take a look? Take a gander? You know it's paid for, right? Doesn't cost you a dime. Is that even legal to say? Is it? Oh. I'd figure it out. Trust me, I'd be your best salesperson. I'd also go and get my certificate to be a claims adjuster. Like, I don't know why you guys wouldn't just go be claims adjusters at the same time so you can talk about that shit. Because I talked to a claims adjuster once and I said, how come you're not selling roofs? He wasn't making very much money adjusting claims. I'm like, you know what the roof guys make, don't you? He's like, yeah, but they're not allowed to talk about insurance claims. Like, it doesn't look like they need to. But if you could, that would be even better, no? Okay, so, and sometimes I go in a million directions, so forgive me, but I want to get my points out. Because if you're in business already and you're looking to grow, or you wouldn't be at this conference if you weren't looking to grow, I'm telling you right now, train your people. Right now, you're exposing people. And when I say train your people, you think, well, that's kind of obvious, but train them correctly and they will stay. Now, a lot of you guys are like, well, how do you find the stallions, Brad? Listen, have you guys ever seen the movies where the stallions are running across the plains? They're all majestic and shit, and they're all running, and they're all muscular, and it's all beautiful, and a bunch of stallions running across the whole thing. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen the turkeys in between their feet? You never seen them? That's because stallions don't run with turkeys. So if you want to attract stallions, you got to get rid of the idiots. You got to not be afraid to get rid of them. You got people weighing you down and you're worried because, well, people are hard to find. People aren't hard to find. Look to your left, look to your right. They're everywhere. The question is why would they want to work for you? Do you have a great pay plan? Do you have a great culture? Do you have a great process? Are your processes down? Is it easy to win? Is it easy to succeed? Or are you hiring somebody and telling them the same shit, and one day you're hungover, one day you're pissed off, you act like you're training them and you're not. You're exposing them. So think about that if you have a company. If you're brand new, don't worry about all that shit. Just master door knocking. My name's Brad. No, just joking. So that's the two things that I would talk about right there, because when you break down, after everything I've learned, success, believe it or not, and it sounds cliche, but it's really true. Success is a choice. It's the choice that you make every single day. Every single day you wake up, you start to make choices. You made a choice this morning. You made a choice coming here. You could have went home. There's people that made the choice to go home and they're missing this. And by the way, this may not resonate with everybody, but I'm telling you, there's always one person in a crowd that'll come up to me a year after and say, dude, you changed my life. And I'll be like, what did I say? Like one time at 10X, I was speaking at 10X and the guy said that, and I said, well, what did I say? And he said, you came out on stage and you said to brush your teeth. I said, really? Like, that's what changed your life? And I just think to myself, like, isn't that common sense? Brush your fucking teeth, people. There's people that walk around, stinky-ass breath, they want to do business with you. If you're walking around, knocking on doors, and they open the door and it smells like you ate a shit sandwich, you know there's stuff called breath spray. Like, invest in breath spray. Why? We're being judged. The Bible says, thou shalt not judge. But everyone does. I don't. I inspect fruit. And the reason I say that is because the Bible says you can tell his children by their fruit. So I'm just a fruit inspector. I'm just looking at your fruit. I'm not judging. So if you ask me, Brad, how would I grow my company? Build a team, recruit like a son of a bitch. How would I do that? We're going to go somewhere with this. How would I do that? Social media. Dan was just talking about all the different platforms out there. Guys, listen, it took me 20 years. I eventually closed all these people and started getting a little piece from my niece, and it turned into millions and millions and millions of dollars a year in recurring revenue. Recurring revenue. You know what that's worth, by the way? Companies will pay a lot more for your company when it's recurring revenue. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but right now in the roofing industry, private equity, because I got a bunch of private equity friends, they're going in and they're buying your asses. You know what they're doing? They're buying people that are making, not quite enough to get on people's radars, but decent amount of money, and they'll buy 5 of you, and then all of that revenue together, now they just sell to a bigger company for even more than they bought it from you. So what do? They come in and they buy your company, and what do? Does anybody know what they do? They either buy it or partner with you. What do? They frickin' start marketing and selling more business. That's all they do. They raise your revenues. Because if I can get you when you're making $2 million a year and I can show you how to make $10 million a year, and by the way, I could show you guys how to go from 2 to 10, guess what you're going to do? You're going to get really good on the doors. You're going to get really good at marketing. You're going to get really good at team building. Why? Because I have the systems and processes to do it. I have a light speed training system that I can slap into your people's hands. I can use my social media to recruit thousands of salespeople. If I did a swipe up right now, I would have thousands of applicants. Thousands. What would you do with thousands of salespeople? You'd be like, I couldn't handle all those. That's because you don't have a training system. Get a training system. They're not expensive. I'm serious, like $300 a month type shit. Okay, it's a training system to where now when you start hiring a bunch of people, they're getting onboarded and actually trained and they're succeeding and they're making money and they're sticking around much longer and your team starts to grow. Because a lot of you guys probably be like, I tried that hiring shit and just kept losing them. Well, that's why you lost them more than likely. The culture, you had a bunch of dipshits running around. You were afraid to get rid of the turkeys because, turkey's better than nobody. When in reality, no, it isn't. Nobody is better than a turkey. So again, ask yourself, do you got turkeys? Do you got a bunch of turkeys on your squad? You got a bunch of complainers? You got a bunch of whiners? You got a bunch of crybabies? And if you do, again, I'm not telling you this stuff's easy sometimes, getting rid of people. It's difficult. I'm always a softie when it comes to firing people. I hate it. So I hired someone to do it. And the only problem is now they need to be fired. And I'm like, So sometimes you just got to swallow it and go in there and do what you got to do. And you know what someone told me once? This guy's a billionaire. He said, Brad, if you're afraid to make the tough decisions, get out of the chair. I thought to myself, dude, that's freaking deep right there. If you're afraid to make the tough decisions, get out of the chair. Quit sitting in the chair. You're hurting yourself. Which is why a lot of people, believe it or not, don't succeed. They don't believe in their minds that they're worth anything more than they have. In fact, if you guys look at everything that you have, that, believe it or not, is what you think you're worth. Isn't that crazy? You want to raise your net worth, raise your self-worth. Make yourself more valuable. How do we do this? You know, dick and balls. I was going to just say it once, but someone said he said it 48 times, so I got to figure out how to do 49. But in reality, man, you got to raise your self-worth. And I'm going to teach you what allowed me to do it. Because again, I wasn't always this cool. I know you think, no way, that's not possible. It was. I was homeless once. I was on a podcast one time. Someone said, Brad, what did it feel like when you hit rock bottom? And I said, well, I don't think you really have hit rock bottom. And he said, well, what do you mean you were homeless? And I'm like, dude, it was the beach. Like it was. Like, dude, are you really that weak in the mind that you believe sleeping on a beach is rock bottom? You need to toughen up. Okay, that's not rock bottom. People pay to sleep on beaches. So it boils down to three things. Okay? Mindset, skill set, habits. You show me somebody's habits, I'll show you their future. Folks, period. You guys can try to think past this and, well, there's got to be a reason this is bullshit. Folks, I've boiled it down to the simplest form. If you want to succeed with your business, with your relationship, with anything, fitness, it doesn't matter what you're trying to succeed. It is your mindset, it is your skill set, and it is your habits. So quit trying to figure out, what do I do? Where do I go? What's up? Look at those three areas: mindset, skill set, habits. How is your mindset? A lot of people don't think they have a problem, which is funny because that's the problem. I say, dude, it's your mindset. Ain't my mindset. That's bullshit. It can't be that easy. That's your mindset. Oh, come on. That's stupid. That's your mindset. Do you not believe in the possibilities? Your mindset or your beliefs? But if you want to focus, let me get my mindset right. Start reading some books, okay? I want to get my skill set right. Believe it or not, start taking some classes. Start being trained. Start looking for answers, because there's people out there that have built $100 million roofing business, billion-dollar roofing business. Is there a multi-billion-dollar roofing business in this country? Yes or no? Okay, so it's possible, isn't it? So the question is, why can't you build that? It's going to be your mindset. It's going to be your skill set. And it's going to be your habits. That's the reason you're not going where you want to go. And ultimately, it boils down to your subconscious. Your subconscious says, and by the way, subconscious, I don't know if you guys realize this, but that's below awareness. Below, conscious, aware. Subconscious is below awareness. You're not aware of this, but subconsciously, you don't think you deserve or you're worth any more. So you start making decisions and choices, which is really what it boils down to, decisions and choices. You're choosing what you're getting. But it boils down to, ultimately, your subconscious mind believes that you're not worth whatever it is you want to be worth. So consciously, I want to be a billionaire, or I want to be a millionaire. And subconsciously, it doesn't match, it doesn't align. So ultimately what happens is you start making choices to sabotage your own success. You know, anybody ever start working out, and then once you start looking a little bit good, you're like, shit, I don't need to diet anymore. Look at me. I'm starting to look good. I'm right there right now, by the way. You'll see me fatten up a little bit. Then I'll notice on social media my head starts to look tomato-ish again. And then I'll be like, damn. So I'll start getting in shape and be like, Brad, you're starting to look lean. I'm like, I'm starting to look lean. I don't have to do this shit anymore. I mean, if I could rewind it all the way back to the beginning and just tell the truth to people, especially if the young ones in the audience, it's going to boil down to focus and discipline. Okay, if you don't have discipline, toughen up. Okay, and by the way, that's just a choice. People say discipline, you know, how do you get that? You don't get it, you choose it. And it's tough. Nobody said it isn't tough. You guys realize the dreams you're looking for come with a price, yes or no? It comes with a price. Are you willing to pay for it? Yes or no? Like, if you're not willing to pay for it, if you're not willing to play the game, take off the jersey and sit down and let the players play. You know what I'm saying? Get out of the way and stop bullshitting yourself, because that's what you're doing. You're lying to yourself. You're not lying to anybody else. You're lying to yourself, and you're going to end up 70 years old looking back going, man, I could have, I should have, man, now that I know. Because, by the way, I don't know who in the room, anybody that's 70, but I'm telling you, the older you get, the smarter you get, seems like. It's like the older I get, the smarter I get, and the more I realized I didn't know shit. And back when I thought I knew everything, I realized I didn't know anything. It's crazy. But I'm telling you, you start breaking it down to the simplest forms, and you realize, man, these are choices we're making. You're literally making the choice to be where you are. How many salespeople do you have right now? Answer the question in your head. 6. Why 6? And then the next thing that comes out of your mouth is an excuse. The next thing that comes out of your mouth is bullshit. Why do you only have 6 salespeople? If you're a salesperson, and by the way, when people say, you know, I'm a roofer, you guys ain't roofers. Okay, roofers are the ones up on the roof. Okay, my uncles were roofers. Okay, you're not roofers, you're salespeople. And everybody wants to say, oh, all salespeople, I hate salespeople. Dude, we're all salespeople. Okay? Some of you guys are really good salespeople because you've been selling yourself short your entire life. You've been selling yourself out of everything that you want. But since we're born, we're coming out the womb selling people. Change our diapers, give me some food. We're selling people. The best closers in the world are children, or at least my children. Maybe it's genetic, I don't know, but my children are good. Okay, whose children in here are kick-ass closers? Right, why? Because they don't take no for an answer. They're not embarrassed. They're not worried about you saying no. There's no fear. They have confidence. That's why when you want to master knocking on a door, dude, you got to build up your confidence. You got to walk up there with like some sort of cure. Like I always tell people when I start training salespeople, I always tell them, first of all, quit thinking about it like you're trying to sell somebody and start thinking like you're going to try to help somebody. Because whenever you're trying to help somebody, your vibe changes. The vibration changes. I'm not knocking on your door so I can make a commission. I'm not knocking on your door so I can buy a car or pay my rent. I'm knocking on your door so I can help you. And dude, the vibration, we all have vibrations. The vibration changes, even by slight amount. And those vibrations will make the difference between 6-figure months, 5-figure months, 4-figure months, and hopefully none of you are doing 3-figure months. If you are, I'll double it. Here you go. But where was I? I'm joking. I know where I'm at. But say again. Say it. That's true. So you're smart, dude. That's true. Your vibration changes. So start to help people. Start going out, waking up every morning, asking because that's originally what made me successful. Before that dude that I helped, and before that made me want to go help everybody else, I was just out for myself. I just wanted to be rich. I just wanted the cars and the fancy watches and all the bullshit. It was all about me. And I didn't realize it was all about me, but it was all about me. I used to walk into places, talk for 30 minutes about me, and then I'd say, okay, enough about me. What do you think about me? But until I stopped doing that, and I didn't intentionally, no one came up and said, Brad, help other people and you'll be rich. I just saw that, felt good about it, wanted to feel good again, which was about me, and didn't realize it, but I started trying to help other people. And literally that started the whole ball going. So if you really want success, I'm telling you, it's not about money all the time. Sometimes it's just about reward. You know what I mean? Whose life or whose life did you help in your life would be I think the biggest impact. When you talk to old people, really old people on their deathbeds, they're about ready to die. I promise you, they're not talking about money. They don't care about the money and the businesses and the cars anymore. You know what they care about? Relationships. And if you think about this, relationships is what it boils down to. Relationships are what matter. The most important relationship that you can have with yourself is the relationship you have with yourself. And I'll bet you if I can just get everybody to understand that, everyone here is going to walk out 10 times better than they were when they walked in, because a lot of people, believe it or not, man, you don't like yourself. You're just not aware of it. You're keeping yourself down. I used to do it all the time. And what's crazy is it took me 20 years to build that company into a multi-million-dollar company. 20 years. But then I started building a little social media brand about, 4 or 5 years ago. And now, in the last 2 years, I've started 5 8-figure companies with my personal brand. I can start a t-shirt company right now with my personal brand. I can start a roofing business right now that will literally be as big or bigger than some of yours in the room. That's right, real roofs. That's what it would be called too. But I was going to get in the roofing business when I was younger, but it was over my head. I didn't get it. So where was I again? Like, I'm getting old. The other day I'm sitting there, I'm watching a video with Adam Sandler in it, and I'm like, dude, that's Adam. And I couldn't think of his name. It started to scare me. I forget. Whatever. Yeah, like early onset, whatever that's called. So it took me 20 years to build this company into a multi-million-dollar company. In the last year and a half, 2 years, I built 5 more with a social media brand. So really what I came out to talk to you guys about is building a social media brand for yourselves. Now again, some of you guys, well, not me. Oh, I couldn't do it. That's your mindset, your skill set, and your habits. That's why I prefaced it with all that. You guys got to get that shit out of you. Get allodoxophobia out of your head. Quit worrying about what other people think. Start valuing what you think. That's the reason you're so worried about everybody else's opinion, because you don't value your own. And why don't you value your own? Because you haven't done the work. You haven't put in the time. You haven't pulled the effort. You question yourself. You lie to yourself. You procrastinate. Right? We all do. You got to stop doing that shit. So how did I build my personal brand? That's what I want you to walk away with. Because if someone can do what I did, and every one of you can, you just won't, I'm telling you right now, you can build a roofing companies so fast it'll blow your mind. Why? Because social media, you leverage social media, and I guarantee you, salespeople, is not a problem. Every time I talk to a roofer, I say, what's your biggest problem? Oh, finding people. I don't get that. There's literally people everywhere. There's so many people in this world, some are trying to get rid of them, from what I hear. Not that I believe it. And by the way, the dollar is going to crash, all this nonsense you guys hear about. Everyone says, Brad, what do I do? Buy crypto? Do I buy this? Do I buy that? I say, no, you buy guns. Guns and ammo. Is this a democratic state? No, but realistically, you buy guns and ammo, and here's why. Because let me tell you something. If you stockpile all that other shit, the people with the guns and the ammo can come and take it. So you're not stockpiling anything for anybody unless they've got guns and ammo. You want guns and ammo. Ammo will be what you're trading. No one gives a shit about a gold bar. Why do I want a gold bar? You got any 9mm rounds? Yes, I do. Well, I'll take some of those. So anyway, just buy guns and ammo. Anyway, the social media is actually easier to build than you think it is. Okay? But it requires you to be you, and that's the problem. Most people don't want to be themselves. They think, and I used to do the same thing. What do I post? What do I do? What do I say? What's cool? What sounds cool? You get those people that post the pictures where they're sitting there like this in a blazer and they're freaking all cool looking and shit with a saying right here. You ever see those? And that's not even their saying. They're just. That's not content, guys. People follow people. Okay. So you want to be you. You don't want to be, ABC Roofing. You want to be Brad Lee with ABC Roofing. Okay? People follow people. And you have to be able to be yourself. That's the problem. So the number one thing, I'll go through this quick because I want to make sure you guys get this. The number one thing you have to do is understand, instead of trying to figure out what to post, okay? What content do I make? What content do I make? Guys, be the content. You understand the difference? You are the content. Get a camera, follow yourself around, and just be the content. Now, if you think, well, I don't do anything. Aha! There's the fucking problem. You ain't doing anything. Okay? But if that's not the problem, you're like, well, should I do a lot? Well, then film it. What are you embarrassed of? What are you afraid of? Well, I don't want to look stupid. Allodoxophobia. Stop that bullshit. Who cares what other people think? I got a camera guy that follows me around everywhere I go, 24/7, except the bedroom and the bathroom, because I don't want to be a porn star. I don't want to trend #1 on Pornhub, so I'm like, dude, stay out of here. Everywhere else, you're welcome to film. And what you guys see on social media, for those of you that follow me, you see me being me all day long, having meetings with people, talking on phone calls, talking on coaching calls, doing what I do, saying what I say. It is me. And people always say, well, Brad, how do you know what to post? I don't. I post me saying what I say. So I'll tell you the whole process, but the first thing you have to do is agree to be yourself. That's what most people are afraid of. And here's what solved it for me. There's 6 things. Hey, I call them the sacred 6 because they're pretty damn powerful. And I think if every single one of you guys do these, you're going to really, I think, change your life in a way that, becomes really, really positive. And it doesn't mean get rich, guys, because I'm telling you right now, if someone said, Brad, what is the most important thing in your life? Okay, the most important thing, and I'm not talking about, people say, what about God? If you serve God, He wants you to have good health, good relationships. He wants this for you. But I'm talking about just these earthly things. Health, that's the number one thing, okay? Health, why? Because if you lose that shit, you'll give up all your money to give it back. I swear to you, you will. Everyone says Warren Buffett's rich. Warren Buffett would pay to be your age, bro. Everything he's got. Health and vitality, focus on it. That's important. After that, relationships. Why? Because, dude, every dollar you'll ever get in your life is from a relationship. Every dollar you've ever received in your life is from a relationship of some kind. Do you realize that? So I always ask myself, why is it rocket science if you want more money? Do you want more money? Then get more relationships. They say money doesn't grow on trees, but they never tell you where it grows. You want me to tell you where it grows? Other people's pockets. And if you want some, you better get to know other people, because that's where it comes from. So if you want more money, shake more hands. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. How many of you guys intentionally go out and shake new people's hands every single day? And be honest. Good for you guys. And by the way, I'll challenge anybody here. Go out and meet 5 new people every single day, just simply for 1 week. That's only 35 people. New people. And by the way, be smart where you go. Okay? Don't go stupid places to meet people. Okay? Well, I went to a grade school, I met 5, and nothing happened. Go meet 5 new people, introduce yourself, start to build a little bit of a relationship. Focus on the relationship, not the money that might come from it. Just focus on meeting new people. I'll bet you in 1 week out of 35 people, something will come from that introduction. Whether it's a referral, whether it's a job, something will come from that introduction. And that's only 1 week. Imagine if you did it 52 weeks. 52 weeks a year. Go out and meet new people. Why? Because the more hands you shake, the more money you make, period. That's just the truth. There's no rocket science about it. Quit making it harder than it is. It's no harder than that. But you have to be able to walk up to somebody and introduce yourself. Whip out your hand, shake, smile. Some people don't want to smile because they got jacked up teeth. It's not rocket science. Fix your teeth. I've seen people with money, dude, and they'll smile. I'm like, huh? And I'm like, looks like they got a mouthful of Indian corn. I'm like, dude, why don't you take some of that money and head over to the dentist? You know they can fix that shit nowadays, right? Some people, they got so many teeth missing, it looks like their tongue's in jail. I'm like, dude, fix that shit. But you have to be willing to walk up and put your hand out and introduce yourself. And why are people willing to do that? Well, because they're confident. Proud. Oh, you don't want to be proud. You want to be humble. Again, folks, I don't know. I keep studying the Bible to learn more and more, but the Bible supposedly tells us to be humble. They're talking about in the presence of God. Okay? Not in the presence of fucking Larry. Okay? Like, have some confidence, have some pride. Okay? Walk up to somebody knowing that you can help them. And if you don't think you can help them, what's the problem? Your self-worth is too low. So go fix your self-worth. Here's how you fix your self-worth, folks. Number 1, believe it or not, just like any relationship that you want to repair, if you wanted to repair a relationship, you screwed up, you wanted to repair a relationship, what would you do first? Huh? Speak up. Buy flowers. You'd apologize. You'd apologize. Apologize to yourself. You've been screwing yourself. If you were your best friend, you probably would have kicked your own ass a long time ago. Okay? And most people say, well, what do you mean, Brad? Procrastination, lies, start and die. It's not start and die. It's hurting yourself. You literally hurt yourself every time you say you're going to do something and you don't. Every time you make excuses. So literally, apologize to yourself. That's step 1. Step 2, you commit to do what you say you're going to do. Period, folks. It's just a choice. Yes, it's tough. Some of you right now are getting anxious over it. You don't have to agree to do something just because someone says, will you do it? You can decide whether you agree or not. But if you agree and if you decide to do something, if you say you're going to do it, do it. That's so important. I can't even stress enough. 3, rack up some wins. It's very simple. You just rack up some wins, man. Because if you win all day, every day, guess what you start to feel like? A winner. Because confidence is really just the memory of winning. If I went through, especially in this crowd, if I went through and just fought every person in here, even chicks, and just knocked you all out, okay? Every single one of you. Next person asked me to fight, would I have any confidence? Of course I would. Why? Because I just remember kicking everybody's ass. You know what I'm saying? You got to have wins. So who decides what a win is? Me? You. You decide what a win is. So I always decide brushing my teeth is a win. Having fresh breath is a win. Okay? Working out a little bit, eating right. There's so many different things you can do to win, but you decide what the wins are and make sure that you're winning all day long. Decide very small, easy things you can do all day long to win. And in your mind, you start winning. And then you start standing up a little taller and you start to feel like you deserve a little bit more, and you do. And by the way, this is where step 4 comes in. As soon as you start acting like you deserve a little more, guess what happens? Yeah, people start talking shit. People start going, well, who do you think you are? Oh, you listen to Brad Lee, now you're going to be successful? Dude, you didn't even graduate high school. Neither did I, by the way. When people say to me, Brad, I thought you said you went to Yale. I did not say that. I said jail. I did not say Yale. But I do have 3 PhDs, 4 MBAs, and 16 associates degrees working for me. You don't need to get one if you can hire one. So anyway, at the end of the day, you guys make sure, where was I? God dang it. Oh yeah. No, I got it. The people will start talking shit. The people will start they'll come at you, okay? And it could be your wife, it could be your husband, it could be anybody. You think it doesn't matter. If they start coming at you, man, you got to get rid of them. And I ain't talking about divorce. I'm talking about close your ears. Do not agree to listen to what they're saying, because what they're putting in your ears is the poison. Folks, does it matter if your best friend gives you poison or your enemy gives you poison? If you get poison, you're going to die, okay? I'm telling you what, negativity is poison. What goes in comes up. You plant corn, corn comes up. You plant corn and expect something else to come up, you're an idiot. Okay? What you allow into your head matters. So you got to get rid of all the people that are talking shit and talking limitations. They're limiting you. They're causing you to doubt. They're causing you, negative beliefs. So you get rid of the people. Okay? And it's tough sometimes. You have to have hard conversations. And then step 5, you figure out exactly what success looks like to you. Not to me, not to her, not to him, to you. Because what happens is you'll go out and get that money and you'll go out and get that freaking prize, and then you're not fulfilled. You think, well, I'm still not happy. Well, you're not happy because you're trying to make everyone else happy. Sit down and take some time and figure out what makes you happy. That's what success is. Your success. Not my success. Figure it out. Spend some time. Go ask people, what do you think success looks like? And you know what a lot of people will do? They'll sit there and they'll look up and they'll start thinking. They'll rub their chin. Try it when you guys leave here. Random person, hey, what does success look like? They'll be like, huh? Well, let me think. Because nobody thinks about what it looks like. How are you supposed to know where you're going if you haven't ever thought about it? That'd be like me saying, hey, why don't you go in this room and find somebody? First question out of your mouth would be, what do they look like? What does success look like to you? So what I call it is map out and visualize success. That's the 5th thing. You map out exactly what it is you think you want, because ultimately what happens is the choices, which it boils down to, the choices every day come around, and you got to ask yourself, does this move me towards or away? And it's going to move you towards or away. Do you understand? And by the way, the only reason I'm doing this is because it makes epic pictures. But it's also true. Does it move you this way or does it move you this way? It's a simple answer. Quit lying to yourself. It moves you this way or it moves you this way. And if you think, well, it doesn't move me anywhere, there's the problem. Okay, move this way or move this way. But it's going to move you one way or the other. And if every decision you make all day long, the little ones, the baby ones, are made with thinking, does it move me towards or away? Trust me, you'll be amazed how successful you become very, very quickly just making the right choices. The choices you make determine the road you take. The choices. If I could go back and change everything, I would change my choices. So just get good at choices now. Figure out exactly where you want to go and then visualize it every single day. How many people visualize a jet every single day? Okay, those people raising their hand will probably have one. It's the craziest crap I've ever seen, but it's true. The ones that aren't raising their hand will probably never have one. Why? Because you're not visualizing it. You guys, it doesn't happen by chance. It happens by change. You got to change what you're doing. So that brings me to the number 6 one. The 6th one is you have to seek new information. Guys, new information is what matters. You have to seek new information on a regular basis. Because the reason you have what you have is because you do what you do. The reason you do what you do is because you believe what you believe. Period. The reason you do what you do is because you believe what you believe. So in order to change what you do, you have to change what you believe. Make sense? Say yes if you hear me. Yes. It's that simple. If you want to change what you do, you have to change what you believe. So if you change what you believe, you have to get new information, because if you don't get new information, guess what happens? Nothing. If you only have the information you currently have, nothing will ever change. So you need new information. So every single day, did you read 10 or 20 pages of a book? Listen to a book, listen to a podcast, take a course, come to an event. Every single day, are you seeking new information? Some people, hey, I'll read a book once in a while. No, every day. Because again, are you part-time in it? If you're part-time in it, that's also probably the reason. So you want to seek new information so you can change your beliefs. The beliefs change your actions change your results. So don't leave here and think, well, I heard everything, so now I'm done. No, go seek new information. And I ain't talking about reading a shampoo bottle while you're taking a shit. I know a lot of you do that, sit there and, kill time reading, maltodextrin number 6. That ain't new information. Well, I didn't know it was in there. You guys don't do that, man. Those are the 6 things that if you do that over and over and over, and by the way, this isn't an overnight thing. This might take you 90, 180 days. I didn't say you're going to start tomorrow and wake up all of a sudden confident. But I promise you, if you do those 6 things for a number of, and by the way, some of you might take longer, some of you might take less. But I'm telling you, if you do those 6 things over and over and over, you're going to have what I consider to be confidence. Or as Wes calls, dick and balls. And by the way, women, especially nowadays, can have dick and balls. Especially nowadays. Just telling the truth. But I think if it boils down to the facts, folks, you guys are in the right business, okay? You should give yourselves a round of applause for being in the right place. And I want to share with you one last thing. I know I'm out of time, but I want to share with you one last thing, because I believe that this is the simplest way to get whatever you want in life. It's a formula that I've used over and over and over again, and it works every time. Not sometimes, every time. It's how to get anything you want. You don't want to hear that, do you? I was going to say maybe next time. Maybe if Lee has me back. By the way, give it up for Lee, and this is amazing, huh? Hey, how many of you guys saw the fights yesterday? How many of you saw the cage match? Anyway, hey, so listen, this is how you get anything you want in life. First thing you got to do is figure out what it is. I know that sounds, well, no shit. Folks, a lot of people don't take the time and think, what do they want? But you have to know what you want before you can get what you want. So literally spend some time and think about it, but know what it is you want. Step 1, know what you want. Step 2, figure out how to get it. Now, some people will be like, oh, no kidding, that's dumb. Okay? Figure out how to get it. I'll tell you how to get it. If you figure out what it is, because this is the hard part, figuring out what it looks like, what it is. Most people, believe me or not, underestimate how hard it is to figure out what it is you actually want. It takes time, it takes brain power, it takes thought. But once you figure out what it is, which is the hard part, figuring out how to get it is the easy part. You know how you figure out how to get it? You find somebody who already got it. Stop making it more difficult than it is. Find somebody who's already done it, who's already been there, who's already gone there, who already achieved what it is that you decided you want. So you figure out what it is you want, and then you find someone who's already done it, who's already been there, who's already achieved it, they've already got the information, and then do the work, folks. Do the work. And I know you guys aren't afraid of work, or you wouldn't be in this room, and you wouldn't be already in the roofing business. Okay? That's how you get anything you want in life. Don't let anyone bullshit you. If anyone tries to bullshit you, tell them tell them to DM me. Okay? Tell them to DM me. I appreciate you guys having me. I hope you guys stay safe in these winters, these storms. Hey, and by the way, hold on real quick. By the way, if any of you guys are interested in like partnering or selling your business, right? I'm telling you guys right now, and I'll just make up a number, 30% of $1 billion is more than 100% of $1 million. And sometimes when you combine forces and you combine revenues and you combine resources and you combine shit amongst you, you form a bigger one, and the bigger ones are who the private equity are coming for. So if you want to sell your shit to private equity and walk away with millions of dollars, you might think about partnering with that man right there, perhaps. Thank you for having me.
Hey! Incredible job, bro. That was awesome. Guys, give him a round of applause.